Hello, good morning, good people of DFS. It's your buddy Chop It On coming at you with another quick tip video. Today we're going to talk variance, we're going to talk volatility, we're going to talk about smoothing it out. And what I'm going to teach you is how to set some realistic expectations for your daily fantasy hobby. Because if you're like most of us, if you're in that 80% group of the world, DraftKings has published that 80% of people are long-term losers. Now, some more than others, but it means that we're redepositing on a regular basis. And if you're like me, you want to stop that. Okay, now I'm going to go through my biography here in just a little bit, but what I want to show you really quick is where you can find me. I'm Chapadong. I'm a coach and contributor inside dfsarmy.com/ref/3. That's the link you want to use, dfsarmy.com/ref/3. It'll be in the comments section of this video. Hopefully this is a timeless classic that we're putting out, studying variance and whatnot, but we have several tools on the MLB page. We're getting ready for baseball. On the MLB page, we got the 3 favorite stats for fantasy baseball. That's my page. That's my article. We have a weather page by our weather guru, MLB DFS Weather. Awesome dude, if you get to know the guy. Benjamin has come over from Daily Roto Sharks. He's done advanced strategy with the batting order. He analyzes and breaks down the batting order for you. And MDell here does pitching strategies for FanDuel, which he's our pitching guru. He's the guy that's going to break down. He's also scouting out on Cape Cod all summer long for professional baseball organizations. So you think the guy knows a little bit about pitching? He better after that bio. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive in and show you just a little bit about what it is that we do. And I'm going to leave this for later. And I'm going to come back to this article here in a minute. But out on Twitter, you can find me at Chopadong. Easy follow. I try to share stats, try to share some highlights, try to make it fun for everybody to follow along. I'm not as good as Fake Sports Center. I'm not as good as a guy that I found last night, which was Civil War Schwartz or Civil War General Schwartz or whatever, which is awesome. It's a parody account of Jaden Schwartz, one of my St. Louis Blues that I like to follow. And this dude on Twitter is hilarious. I'm not like that, but what I try to do is try to at least engage with you, talk DFS back and forth. And one thing I will assure you is we never give up. Inside the DFS Army, that's just not what we do. We learn to beat the game, and we teach people how to beat the game. Now, I told you that on DraftKings, 80% of people are long-term losers inside DraftKings. They redeposit time and time again. My bio, I'm one of the lucky ones. I haven't had to do that. Now, I don't win millions of dollars. Don't get me wrong. This is a hobby for me. This isn't something I'm ever going to use to pay the bills. This isn't something that I ever want to hang my hat on and have to come up with the rent on. The winning streaks are great, but the losing streaks are way too crazy. I would be on the shitter in a heartbeat and nervous as a deer in the headlights. That's just it's not for me. I used to play poker online. I used to pay my bills with poker online, and I'm telling you, I had a much larger edge playing poker than I do in DFS, and that's just me. That doesn't mean that I can't coach you. That doesn't mean I can't teach you. That doesn't mean I can't get you to the promised land. I've coached people on their bankrolls from anywhere from $3 a day up to I've coached guys with $10,000 and $20,000 bankrolls. I had guys win $100,000 last year in the NBA and in NFL come to me directly and say, now what do I do? And ask for my advice on coaching bankroll. So it's not that I can't teach. I go back to a guy that I took a couple of golf lessons from when I was a kid. I was an aspiring competitive golfer as a kid. I wasn't a terrible golfer by any stretch of the imagination, but I wasn't Tiger Woods. I needed a little bit of help. Then Tiger needs help, but I needed a little bit of help. And so I went to a guy. We vetted out a instructor that had some credentials. This guy was a instructing pro to Chichi Rodriguez and Craig Stadler back in the 80s, so that was good enough for me. Guy couldn't break 90 if you picked up the golf ball and threw it out there for him. Okay, he was not a good golfer, but the dude could teach. And I'm not going to say I'm not a good DFS guy, but I can teach. And that's what you come to me for, and that's what you come inside DFS Army for, is for education and for stopping the bleeding if you're one of the 80%ers on DraftKings that's constantly redepositing. Let's cut that off. Let's preserve the industry, keep the industry going, because more and more people, you beat your head up against the wall enough times, and eventually you stop beating your head up against the wall. If you redeposit into these sites enough times, eventually you're going to stop redepositing, and that's not good for the long-term growth of the game. So what we want to do is we want to try to stop that bleeding, and we do so by teaching you how to play cash games, how to play GPPs, and how to allocate your resources across both. That's what the ladder system is for. But what I want to talk to you today about a little bit more is Monte Carlo simulations and coin flips. Because let's just assume, because for most of you, not redepositing again would be a victory. So let's just assume that we are break-even players. Not even break-even players. We are 50-50 players. That's a little less than break-even, because break-even, you got to beat the house rake. House rake's roughly 5% in cash games, or at least you got to beat them 5%. So you can't beat a 50-50 50% of the time. You have to beat it 55% of the time to break even, because you got to cover that rake. In other contests, double ups and GPPs and stuff, it can be even higher. So what we're going to start with is thinking about head-to-heads and 50-50s, and we got to beat them 55% of the time. Okay? So here's what I did. Now, if you know anything about a 50-50 proposition, it's a coin flip, right? So we ran some Monte Carlo simulations. If you're not familiar with a Monte Carlo simulation, it's a computer algorithm that literally runs the same scenario over and over and over hundreds of thousands of times. Okay, but I'm a show me kind of guy. So I'm going to show you this graph. This is a graph of a Monte Carlo simulation of flipping a coin. And notice in the beginning how rocky it is, how streaky it is. Up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Start getting out 20,000 coin flips. And now it finally starts to smooth out a little bit. You get out here to 60,000, and now it's smoothed out quite a bit. Okay? This is obviously a biased coin, the probability of winning at over 50%. But what I'm wanting to show you is how the coin flip starts to smooth out. Okay? If I show you another simulation, you can see that when you toss the coin and you run it through the simulator, 1 is heads, 0 is tails. Heads, 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 tails, 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 heads, tails, tails, heads. Over and over and over and over again. And you're going to go on some long streaks. Look, heads, 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 heads. You know, tails, 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 heads. Bunches of heads down here in this section where they went on a very biased heads stretch. So what I did as a show me kind of guy is I went ahead and ran one myself. So it was a lot smarter, because we're getting ready to play baseball. We're getting ready to play a 162 game baseball season. Marathon, not a sprint, am I right? But if you are a 50% player, if you have no edge over anybody that you play, what happens? You're going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. You know at the end of the year, you're not going to necessarily break even. You'll be up a little bit or down a little bit. But 160, let's say we take 2 days off, 160 sessions is a pretty good run, am I right? It's a pretty decent sample size. 160 sessions, flipping a coin. What I'm going to assume is that each coin flip represents 10 head-to-head competitions. I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose. I should have made it 11, but the math wasn't that easy. We're either going to win the session or lose the session. Up $1, up $10, I don't care. Okay? We're either going to win the session or lose the session. We're going to win half the sessions, we're going to lose half the sessions. That's why we're flipping a coin, to determine the pattern and the order and the frequency and the streaks, more importantly, the streaks of variance and the ride of the roller coaster train that we're going to go on. Okay? This is not my results. I'm going to read mine to you. But I literally sat down on my living room floor and flipped the coin 160 times. It took me about 10 minutes. Why? I guess I'm bored. I guess I'm a nerd. What can you do? But these are the results that I got from flipping the coin. I had to see it for myself. I flipped the coin 160 times. I got heads 89 times. 89 times heads, 71 times tails. And what that means is 55.6% of the time it came up heads. That could have just as easily been 52%, 48%, whatever. So over the course of a season, 55.6%, I got lucky this year and I won at baseball over the long term. But 55.6% isn't much. It's pretty good when you consider that I won over 55% of my head-to-heads or 50-50s. It's not good when you consider that I got to get over 55% just to beat the rake. The rake is your biggest enemy in this game. You got to get past that. So if you got past it 55.6% of the time, you got a 0.6% profit. You wagered $10 a day. $10 a day over 160 days. $1,600 that you wagered. Your profit at 0.6% was $9.60. Not even $10. Woohoo! We're rich. We're so rich, we're moving out of mama's basement. We're going to get that cardboard box, live under that bridge where it's waterproof. We can't stop the wind, but baby, we can eat ramen noodles all day long. That $9.60 is going to meet that baby at closing time. I'm going to take her to Taco Bell. That $9.60 isn't going to get me a taxi ride home unless I find the cash cab. You know what I'm saying? But we were winners, and we can forever tout out on the internet that we're a winner. Okay, so that's not really where that was going. That got a little off track because I had visions of living under a bridge. At $9.60, you take that chick out at closing time at the bar, you buy her Taco Bell tomorrow morning, you're moving back in with mom. Hey, mom, did you turn my room into a gym yet? Woo, because I need to come back home. That $9 didn't last very long. What we need to do is understand the grand scheme of things. And what we need to understand is that even if we're breaking even, we're winning 55% of our head-to-heads and our 50-50s. We are still winners. We're still profiting in the game. Because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop an intangible on you. How much does it cost to go to a game? $250? How much does it cost to buy a couple beers and a hot dog? More than $9.60, right? So based on that, I sit at home. I watch all of the games, not just the game I went to see. Now, I don't stop going to games. Don't get me wrong. We all love sports. But I've cut back on the games that I go see, and I'm taking that money and I'm using some of that in DFS because I enjoy this hobby. I enjoy playing these games. I'm a nerd. I enjoy digging into the stats. I enjoy learning, studying the numbers, and predicting the outcomes of these games. And I know for a fact that if I stick around long enough and preserve my bankroll long enough, I'm going to hit a big GPP and I'm going to profit over the long run. Now, it may be tomorrow. It may be in August. It may be 3 Augusts from now. I don't know. But my main goal is to preserve the bankroll, and that's what my main goal is for you. Teach you how to stop that bleeding and preserve that bankroll so that you can continue to enjoy your hobby, ride the train up and down a little bit. Let me tell you about some of the streaks in those coin tosses. The streaks that we had a heads streak of 6 in a row. We had another heads streak of 14 out of 17 flips of the coin. 14 out of 17. That was a ridiculous run. 5 out of 6. Another 5 in a row, another 8 in a row. We had a tails run of 11 in a row. So if we call tails losses, that one freaked us out. When we hit the 14 out of 17, we thought we were a DFS god. In fact, we probably changed our Twitter name to DFS God. Follow me. Follow me to the light. I can take you to the riches. But at 14 out of 17, it quickly turned and went 3 or 4 losses in a row. When it got a couple swings later into the 11 losses in a row, all of a sudden we're questioning ourselves and our very existence. Oh my God, I don't know anything anymore. I've totally lost touch with my numbers and my system and my routine. No, you did not, dude. You're flipping a coin. It's gonna swing up and it's gonna swing down. Got on another head streak of 9 out of 10 and finished the season up with a head streak of 7 in a row. And that 7 in a row, to be quite honest with you, was my 0.6% profit. Funny how that works out, huh? It was break even all the way until August 20th, and then all of a sudden those last 7 days, boom, 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 winners. And that piled in that big dump truck of money, that $9.60. So what I want you to understand is when you get to April and you get to May and you get to June and you get to July and you're breaking even and you're losing and you don't know if you're winning or losing, dude, it's okay. It doesn't even mean you're a long-term loser in the game. I can tell you 2 years ago, I went on a streak where I was losing for 4 months in a row. This month, April, loss. May, loss. June, loss. July, loss. Damn, 4 months in a row. And it wasn't pretty. Some months were okay. They were pretty small losses. Some months were fairly big losses, whatever. I don't play for big money, so it wasn't like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But, significant for me. And then August hit. And all of a sudden, I doinked 4 GPPs out of 6 in a row, repaired all of that damage and then some, and had a profitable season. Had I got frustrated and quit in June or July and said, baseball's not for me, I can't play baseball, I'm not good at baseball, I don't know anything about baseball. Baseball's too much volatility. Baseball has too much variance in it. These guys are lucky. All they do is stack an offense and it goes off. No, instead, I kept my nose to the grindstone, kept playing the hobby that I enjoyed, and got rewarded at the end of the year. I know people, last year I had a great April and a solid May, and then I sucked from then on out. That's variance. That's coin flipping, man. That's your 7 in a row winning streak or your 14 out of 17 followed by your 11-game losing streak. If you break these down into sessions and you learn to track the long run and you watch things that way and you don't give up because you realize that at the end of the year you might only be up $9.60 and it still doesn't tell you if you're a winner or a loser. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to teach you. And with the use of the ladder system here inside DFSArmy.com, we're going to teach you how to get up to the tippy top of this pyramid and start holding on for those GPPs so that if you do have 4 months losing in a row, you've still got enough of a bankroll intact that you can still chase that GPP and hit it and hit 4 out of 6 in a week. I did that. And I'm not a pro. I can teach you how to do that. But you've got to come inside. You've got to be a VIP inside DFS Army. Hopefully this tip helped. Hopefully a little bit of this variance simulation helped get your head screwed on straight, because we're getting ready for baseball. It's a wild ride. We're coming out of hockey, which is its own wild ride. So some of us are already prepared. But you NBA guys, you ain't ready yet for the variance. The variance is crazy in MLB. I hope you enjoy it like I do. I hope that you become a VIP inside DFSArmy.com like the rest of us have. And I hope we talk to you all season and all summer long about keeping your head on straight, because I hope that I can get you to August so that you can hit that big prize towards the end. All right, guys, peace out. This is your buddy Choppa Dog. Follow me, DFSArmy.com/ref/3. This was your quick tip of the day. Follow me out on Twitter. Give me a like, a subscription, and a thumbs up to my YouTube channel. Retweet me out on Twitter. Use the code CHOP, C-H-O-P, for 10% discount on DFSArmy.com when you become a VIP, because friends don't let friends pay retail, and I'd love to be your friend. Take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.